Hey everybody, Gears here, and this video is much about what I don't have to show you as I do have to show you. And what I don't have is an hour's worth of video that seems to have been deleted, taken over the last 4 to 6 weeks. Featured work I'd done on the car. It featured a meetup with Obi-Sean and a look at his H-Wing and the new Z-Wing. And it covered some, but not much, of the building of this prototype for the back of my car. I'm just about done with this at this point. Well, that is to say, I'm just about done with the major construction. What I want to do next is slap some Bondo all along these cardboard seams to seal those up. I've dumped probably $30 worth of super glue into a lot of the other seams to make them nice and rigid, and all of these pieces are quite firmly glued on as well. You'll notice that there's a little bit of a wobble going on the back side. What I need to do is cut a few more braces and place those all around the bottom here. This was a nice big piece of TV cardboard that I found someone was throwing out. These little wedges are doing pretty well of stabilizing everything. This is a 2-inch deep well right here, so I got to put some more 2-inch squares all around. And obviously the cuts are not really all that great. I wasn't expecting them to be, this being just a mock-up. I had thought perhaps I could cover this in fiberglass and install it into my car, rather than going with an aluminum version. However, after some discussion with a guy who does a lot of fiberglass, something flat like this sitting out in the sun would most likely warp over time. And we'll put lemons in there in a second. One other thing I have here is some shoulders. These probably aren't the exact width, but they are the correct side to side. This is about a 3-inch cut right there, and then these are 8 inches at the center. They go in there like that. And well, before I put the Droid in, let's take a look at some of these parts. So these two little guys here are the wheels off of 1/144th Space Shuttle crawler. That's just some kind of panel I found around. These guys are I got these from some bubble levels. Of course, the top's from some glue bottles. These are the protectors off some ink cartridges. A piece of panel from a computer. Don't know where I got that guy. This is just a blister pack somewhere. Got a caps lock there. Another piece of random metal. This one and this one are off a dollar store squirt gun. That's a CCFL inverter, the 2 feet off of the Hawk diorama set for some AT-AT walkers. A couple pieces of computer parts there, case fan kind of things, back to the bubble levels there. These 3 guys are the engines off of Battlestar Galactica Revell Viper reissue. That is some kind of CD spindle thing. It's very soft plastic. Another piece of blister packaging. The red off of a bike reflector. Ink cartridges. Don't know what those two were. Probably like shelf holder things. This one here is one stand off of the original release for the 1/350th 1701 refit from Polar Lights. This is a piece of plumbing with some more plumbing in there. Another bike reflector, an ink cartridge holder, a mini CD, ink faucet aerator, ink faucet, how about a water faucet, another super glue top, some little push pins, 4 little squares of magnets, a 1 gig SD card, and again a ink cartridge protector. And that little plastic guy there was some kind of protector for a, probably that card right there. One more thing I need to do is put a piece of cardboard down along the bottom, again with the stabilizers underneath to make this flat. So let me put lemons in here. This thing here is the garbage can top that I was using to paint him on, and that is working out really well. And as far as Lemons himself goes, let's drop him into place, and like that. Now let me even him out. There we go. So once I do a little more cardboard work, I've got to primer all this, like I said, Bondo it a little. Then I'm going to paint it up to about what it should be, and this will be the mock-up for what this will look like eventually. Of course, the sidewells should be as big as his foot, otherwise he couldn't fit in, so they should be a little bigger. However, on the studio scale models for the X-Wings, it was pretty much cut right to the shoulders, so that's a pretty good foot there. Or footprint rather there. And you'll notice that that piece is broken. This HP was pretty much shattered. And this one just got a little chip right on top. What happened here is that when he was riding around in the car, I took a turn and he took a face plant straight into the bottom, shattered that top HP, knocked out the back one. And this one I just broke and I was handling them a little while ago, so I'm going to Bondo those back and hopefully get something close to what they were. The styrene in here is to help protect them from any further damage. But clearly what I'm going to have to do is get these done in aluminum, because this is just going to break far too easily. This was down to about 4 or 5 pieces when I rescued it. The detail piece you can see here is shattered all along that line, but they glued together fairly well. I'm deciding whether to put fiber optics or LEDs into here. Originally for the movie, the very first movie at least, they had fiber optics with a color wheel behind there to get a lot of variation. Then they switched up to LEDs later. We'll see how that goes. And what else? So why don't we go take a look at the car in a few seconds. Alright, so it's probably a little tough to tell, but I have done more in here. I took out a lot of the extra pieces of metal that were sticking up all over the place. There's a few tie-offs here that I can still pull out if I want to, but I'm going to leave those in for the moment, see if I really need them or not. It's a lot more roomy in here now, not having those seats. And there's really nothing else I can pull out of here. I'm probably going to put my woofer back in the back here. It does take up space, but it is a good functioning subwoofer. I don't know if there's much else that I've really done in here apart from give it a really good vacuuming, though you probably can't tell with the mess that's still in here. I've really got to clean this out. It's just a little too crowded for my taste right now. The other thing I did on the car is I got these little magnets, and I know there are no rivets on an X-Wing, but I wanted to see how they looked in place, and I mean, they do give a really good look. However, as I just said, the X-Wings don't have rivets. A-Wings, probably the B-Wings do. So I will be pulling these off. I just need to get a stronger magnet so it can make this job a little easier than it will be without it. I haven't done any more painting or anything like that. It just rained on the car the other day, so it's made it a lot dirtier than it is normally, so I got to go and give it a wash at some point. But I think that's pretty much it. I haven't test fit the Droid slot yet. Really, well, I can do it without the Droid in there probably by simply taping it up against this, but I need more space here. It's a little too crowded right now in this parking area. So this is what Lemons was riding on. That was sat right in there, and that's what gave him the face plant. So I'm probably not going to be riding around with him in the back seat too often, simply because there is so much convolution going on the floor here that there's just no way to lock him down safely. I'm really disappointed and angry that I wound up deleting all those files with Obishan and the previous work I'd done on this, and the work I did on the Droid slot as well. But there's this video at least, and that's that. Thanks for watching. See ya.